What's going on, everyone? My name is Paul, and in this video, we're going to go over how to use the UPC scanner within third-party profits to find profitable products faster for our Amazon wholesale business. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what a UPC scanner is and what it's meant to do, when you open up wholesale accounts with suppliers to sell products on Amazon, you are going to receive 80 to 90% of the time an Excel file that looks something like this, that's going to have tons of products essentially that they carry in inventory. And if you're not using a software like this, you're going to have to go brand by brand or line by line through thousands and thousands of products. So this will make it where essentially you can simply just take this file, upload it into the software, and then it's going to now show you all of the products. The system's going to go and then find matches for you. Now, if you are unfamiliar with how to upload a catalog into the software, there will be a video down below in the description. I want to make sure that this video is more geared towards how to use the UPC scanner to actually find profit opportunities for your business. So the first step in what we want to do is we want to start setting filters. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can set filters, and more or less all we're trying to do with setting filters is weed out items that are just a waste of our time, right? That there's not going to be opportunity with. Now, how I like to personally filter is I want to put a net profit of anything greater than $1. And this is after shipping and prep. And I'll explain why just $1 in 1 second. We're going to put an offer count. So this is more or less how many active sellers are on a listing. So for us in wholesale, we want to try to find products that have sellers on the listing. Like, for example, this has 18 sellers and this one has 5 and this one has 22. That's telling me that these are going to be wholesale related products because other people are selling them. When there's less sellers on the listing, like 1 or 2, that can actually be a bad thing because that can indicate that essentially it's not going to be a good wholesale item. So we're going to put anything greater than 3 sellers on the listing. We're also going to put a profit margin that's greater than 7% after all expenses. We're going to do a sales rank that is between 1 to 200,000. Now, for anyone that doesn't know what a sales rank is, essentially all you're doing is you're putting in a range between 1 to 200,000 because there's products that don't even have a rank on Amazon. More or less, they don't sell at all, right? So like, let's say the ceiling of the rank on Amazon's 1 million. Just hypothetically saying, anything past 1 million means that there's no rank. So we want to remove those products. That's why we're going to use a between filter from 1 to 200,000. Now we're also going to use an Amazon in stock percentage filter. This is going to help you remove products that are dominated by Amazon. So we could see this listing, 83% of the time in the last 30 days, Amazon's been on this product with stock. So that's an indication that there's a high chance that they're potentially selling and dominating this listing. So I'm going to put this less than 30%. That way it can remove heavily dominated listings on Amazon. Now, the last thing that we're going to set is going to be the buy box availability. We want to put this greater than 75%. Now, what the buy box availability is essentially you removing suppressed listings. So when Amazon notices that a product is offered substantially higher than what it should be, like let's say that you're selling deodorants on Amazon and it costs $30 for a customer to buy it. And then Amazon is going to use their algorithms and then say, okay, well, that Old Spice is selling for $15 on Walmart. Amazon's not competitive and they're going to suppress the listing. And ultimately, that prevents products coming up in the search results, meaning that it's going to sell slower and these opportunities are going to be a little bit harder to sell. So we're going to put in the system that we want to find for the last year, 365 days, that essentially more than 75% of the time, there has been a buy box on the listing. And now that we've set a lot of these filters, and the last one I'm going to set is I'm just going to put Amazon title is not empty. So we're pulling in ASINs in our system that in the back end still pop up, but they're no longer on Amazon. That's why there's like a dog page here. So Frank, But that's why we're going to do is not empty, just to remove anything where there is essentially no listings like that we can't sell, right? Like where Amazon's taking down that listing. And now that we have all these filtered results, this is going to help us understand the product opportunities through this Excel file. Now, I want to also mention, guys, is that you could set filters in the software through here too by simply just clicking on this arrow here. And you can set filters that way as well. So like if you prefer to do that, if you're not a fan of like scrolling through the software, you could simply just go to set columns and filters, and then we'll have all these different column options as well. You can quickly drag and drop to wherever you want to put the column. I just want to let you guys know that way, if you want to be able to filter a different way, you can in the software. And then once you set up your filters, like once you do this in the software, I'll just recommend to click on Save Preset and then name the preset. That way, when you come into the software the following day or next week, you can just go to Load Preset. It's going to have all those presets for you. And rather than you having to go back and then set each filter individually, this will make it where you can essentially just go straight to that product. Now, we can also see that in our software, we have like multiple suppliers integrated. I want to only focus on KeHE. So we're going to filter down only by KeHE. That way we focus on that one vendor. And kind of what the software does is it allows you to bring all of your suppliers together to make sure that you have a very good understanding of your supplier relationships. So I apologize. I'm just filtering down to make sure that we're only sourcing through KeHE products. Now, what we want to do and what I like to do personally and how I've seen the best results in my business by finding profit products faster is by doing two different things. The first thing is that I actually source from the lowest profit per sale to the highest. Now, I know that kind of sounds a little bit contrary because your goal is to find good and profitable products for your business. But the reason why we want to do this is because these items are most likely going to be more accurate to wholesale, right? Like you could see a $2 to $5 net profit per sale traditionally through selling Amazon wholesale, and you sell a ton of units a month, and ultimately that's how you can make a lot of money through the model. But the reason why we want to start at $1 is because we haven't negotiated any pricing. So these products that are $1, 99% of other people are simply just going to skip them, because in our heads we say, oh my gosh, $1, like $1, that's it. But in reality, there's opportunity there, because the whole point of wholesale is getting better pricing, negotiating with your supplier, and building out that relationship, right? So like these are items where I could see that if they do sell well and it is a good wholesale listing, and the only factor that I'm missing is a better cost, that's okay. I'm just going to ask for a better price and increase that profit from $1 to $2 and increase that margin from 8% to 13%, right? Because we have the ability to do that in wholesale. So that's why we're using this method. Now, another method that you could do to quickly find profitable products is by putting the bundle quantity as anything greater than 1. Now, the reason why is because there are items that will pop up where like the pack size is wrong, right? Where Amazon's giving us data as a software. It's pretty much saying, this product is a 1-pack. You look at the item, it's actually selling as a 3-pack, and the profit is off. As a software, there's really nothing that we can do about it. We're actively actually trying to make it better and improve that process, but Amazon just giving us the wrong data. So this will help you automatically like filter through some items that are incorrect. But for me, like I said, I personally like to start by going from the lowest profit to the highest. Now, when you're sourcing, you want to also understand sourcing efficiency. So like I can see an item that immediately has opportunity, and it's going to be this one right here, this Urban Cowboy. And the reason why is because the profit per sale for the last year is an average of 307, and today it's 102. So that's an indication that the only reason why this product's not as profitable as it used to be is most likely because the price went down. But the price is eventually going to go up. Or like this item here, historically, it has been profitable after all expenses. I mean, it's gone down a little bit, but historically, we're seeing a $2 profit before any discount. Whereas like this item here, you can see historically we're losing money, or we're losing money here. So like those are items that are going to be harder to actually make a profit on because it's only really profitable today. It's not profitable historically, right? So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But we're going to open up this listing. So the first thing that I like to do is I just like to go to Keepa. That way I can look at the Keepa graph here. So we can see that the reason why this profit has gone down is simply because this offer count has gone up, right? It went from going from 7 offers to now it's going up to 14. Now, for anyone that's unfamiliar with like Keepa, I have a ton of videos on YouTube where I break down Keepa every single week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have a live call that I do with people that are users of the software, where you can hop in and I go over how to analyze products and source products and ultimately just grow your business. Those videos are also on YouTube for reference. But we can see that the reason why, then this is going back to my point, is if we look at this software, this product actually does have opportunity. Historically, it is a profit of 307. It's just a lower profit today, but that's okay, right? Because we understand that most likely when this offer count, when competition does go down, this price is going to go up. So now that I see it's a wholesale product, there's other people selling the product. I can see that it's selling just based on the sales rank of it going up and down, and that the offers are fluctuating, which is a good sign that also people are selling the product. I'm now going to go to Amazon. I'm just going to open up that listing by going to Amazon.com, and I'm just going to take my landed cost here. Now, Now on the software, you could hover over this little eye, and this will break down your landed cost. Essentially, what are your costs after shipping and prep? And if you're ever confused about how we're getting to the profit as well, you can just hover over here. It'll break it down for you. But essentially, I'm just going to take this 556 and I'm going to go into the software and we're going to paste it in and then see, okay, today that product is really not that profitable. But at this 1368, we're seeing a 16% net margin after all expenses. We're seeing up here at this 1449, we're seeing a 19% margin. Back here at 16, we're seeing almost a 30% margin. Now I know a lot of people in their heads are probably like, well, Paul, why is this relevant? Right? Like, why does this matter? It's not selling at $16 today. Well, the reason why is because when people sell through this product, this price is going to go back up, right? We look at this historical data on Keepa, like when it's priced and there is 4 offers on the listing, it's selling at almost $15. And at $15, you can expect a 20% plus margin before any discounts. So that's why this is going to be a game changer. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add this product into our working purchase order. I've seen enough. This is a good product for my business. It's not going to be an item I'm going to want to buy directly right now from the supplier, but I want to put it somewhere. I want to save it because I want to come back to it. So we're going to click on Save and Add to PO. We're going to click on Save and Folder and Add to Working PO. And now from this point, we're going to put in that ask price. So we know that our landed cost is $5.56. That's including shipping and prep. So that is an additional $1.06. So our actual cost is $4.50. Now, if we wanted to get a discount, let's call it like we get 3% off, right? So $4.37 is what we're going to ask. And we can see the case quantity of this product, how the supplier is going to sell it to you is in intervals of 72. And we're going to put 72 on the product. We're going to put test buy, not that profitable now, but will be soon. Can we purchase in uneven case quantities? Now, what purchasing in uneven case quantities means is that essentially 72 units is kind of heavy for this item, right? So I want to be able to ask my supplier when I am intending to purchase it if I can purchase in lower intervals. There is times where they can do it. There's gonna be times that they can't. But we just want to be able to ask. We don't want to ask it right now. We want to ask it when we're going to submit the purchase order to the supplier, because otherwise you're just going to waste their time. You're going to go back and forth, and that's not a good way to build a relationship. So now we're going to hit submit. Now, just for anyone that is unfamiliar, what that does is that will automatically transfer that product into this working purchase order here, where it'll give you live data on the item. Now, to kind of put it in perspective on what this solves, because for anyone that maybe hasn't been selling in Amazon, they don't really understand that the process of like using Google Sheets can be pretty intensive. So rather than me sitting here and data entering product information, right? So rather than me having to go and take this ASIN and then paste it in, and then take that URL and paste it in, and then the vendor SKU and the UPC, right? I have to put all this information in, and then I have to put the price in. And then tomorrow, the price is going to change. And tomorrow, this data is not going to be accurate. So you're going to spend all this time and energy to just waste your time when essentially we just did a two-step process, and now we're going to have data live. If the product gets gated, if the margins shift, we're going to be able to see that live real time as fees are changing, as anything's changing, to make sure that the product is actually still profitable as we're building out this purchase order. So this is like using a flip phone in 2026. We want to be able to operate extremely more efficiently. So we're going to continue to source through. Now, I want you guys to also understand here that this product is also a huge opportunity, because there's third-party sellers on this listing. You could take a look and say, all right, well, who's selling this product? And are they also carrying other products from maybe the same supplier, right? And that's how you can get into the storefront stalker side of the software. I want to focus on the UPC scanner right now, but this is how you introduce your way into the storefront stalkers, that you look at the other sellers on this product that has opportunity, your profit after all expenses. Let me see what else other people are selling, because they've already done all the hard work for me, right? They already found all the products, but we're going to continue to roll through. Now, the next item here, $1.65 after all expenses, $1.03 today. So once again, another item. Intrigued to see kind of what's going on. So we can actually see that this price has gone up a little bit, which is great. Now, my problem is that like this item is selling at a very low price at $8.04. Now, the thing with low ticket products is that they have good ROIs, or return on your investments. However, you need to sell a lot of inventory to make a lot of money. So it's a great way to like compound your money fast, because you can have a 40, 50, 60% return on your investment, which is amazing. However, it's also a dangerous game, because if you don't understand your numbers, you can quickly just turn that profit from 50% to nothing, right? Because there's not a lot of room to work with in terms of dollars. So like an item like this, like we could take a look into, just to kind of get a better understanding. But immediately, like I see one seller really dominating this listing called Sparkle Front. I also see the brand on the listing back here. So like this is an indication for me that this product might not be the best. It's a low ticket item. It seems like one seller so far is dominating the buy box. We're going to validate that with the buy box statistics on Keepa. And once I get those two data points, like 73% from that one seller. So immediately I'm a little bit concerned, because that means that for me as a seller, it could be challenging to get this buy box. And the only way that I'm going to be able to get this buy box is by essentially undercutting. And you don't want to undercut yourself, right? You're just undercutting your own margin. So we're going to move on from that product. Next product here, like 468 historical profit. Today it's 104. That's okay to see. That just means that there's going to be some opportunity. So we can see that this product just came back to life here, where it was selling at 1734, really wasn't selling well. Now it's selling at this 1360, and it's starting to sell better for your business. Now, this is also seasonal. So this product is actually going to stop selling. Now, that's why immediately on Keepa, I go to this all period, just to get a better understanding like what's going on, right? So what's going on here is that we can see that this is a pumpkin spice product, meaning that this item is most likely going to be more geared towards Thanksgiving holidays. And then once Thanksgiving's over, then people really don't buy this as much as they used to because a lot of people just kind of eat pumpkin related stuff during Thanksgiving. So now we can see that this is why this product really doesn't sell during this time of years because not a lot of people are buying it. There's not a lot of demand. However, in Thanksgiving period, in October, September, November, when people are getting ready for these holidays, that's when it starts selling. So this item is going to be an item where a lot of these people are going to start losing money on the product because people they're not thinking about the item that they're going to sell, right? They're just looking at the numbers without saying, wait a second, hold on, when are people buying pumpkin related products, right? And they're also now looking at previously historical data to make a more educated decision for their business. And they're ultimately most likely, if you're going to purchase this type of product, you're going to end up losing money on the item. We don't want that, obviously. So we're going to move on. Next item here, we could see like $1.64. This is a product that we're going to jump into, kind of take a look here. Once again, keep a graph looks okay. Looks like the price has gone up and then it started decreasing as this offer count went up. So it was selling at $9.79. It's back at this $9.99 price point here. Our cost after all expenses on, where was that product? The Nani, here it is, $4.12. So let's take a look here to see if there's any opportunity with this type of item. So $9.99. We can see that's a 13% margin, 31% net ROI after all expenses. This item sells pretty well in grocery. It's not a bad product. Now, that being said, this price does drop to $7.50, but historically we can actually see it's pretty much selling at this $9.80 point, to even up to $15, right? So up to $15, you're seeing a profit of 34%. And at $9.80, we're seeing that's not my cost. My cost was $4.12. 11%. After all expenses, guys, this is like net, right? So we're looking at a cost of goods of where's the Nani's? Right here. Okay, the cost of goods of $2.99, our shipping costs of 13 cents, and prep costs of $1 to get to this profit of 11%, 27% ROI. Now, I want you guys to also understand something about this is that our goal is to sell inventory, every 30 to 60 days. Like I would say that's a target for every single seller on Amazon for those that really want to like compound their cash, right? So what might seem like a low margin is not really that low when you put it into perspective. If you were to sell 27%, or let's just go with easy math, 25% every single month for the next 12 months, that ROI is massive, right? It's not 27% for 1 month, it's 27% for multiple months for however long you're selling it. You're talking about 4 months out of the year, and you essentially double your money after all expenses. Whereas if you're taking that same money, let's say, and investing it into like an S&P 500 or Vanguard or just traditional investment, you're going to see an average return of, call it 6 to 10%. Obviously, it can go higher, but on average, that's what you can expect, right? And with this, we kind of have a little bit more control over how we're investing our money too. Like we can make educated decisions. So I just want to put that into perspective for a lot of people, is that after all expenses, being able to net 20+% ROI a month is not bad for products that you did not create, for you not having to drive demand to, you're not spending money in ads, right? To make 20% ROI on your money is pretty good. So this is an item that we're going to add into our purchase order because it's actually not bad. And once again, this is before us even asking for a discount on the product. So our cost is $2.99. We want to be able to get to a point where, let's once again know like 3%, right? So at 290, save 9 cents, which might not sound like a lot, but it all adds up, right? So good item, price can drop when it gets competitive. Now I'm just leaving some notes because really what my goal is as I'm building out this purchase order, I want to come back to it when I'm reviewing it to make sure that the products I'm looking at are still going to be valid to purchase, right? So right now I'm in the process of building out the PO to make sure that I'm adding the correct products and that are going to be ultimately potentially good. We're going to ask for some discounts here. We could see that the estimated sales are around 150 a month. Keep us telling us that it's selling 300 a month. At the end of the day, these are all estimates. For me personally, I'm going to go with a little bit in the middle. So let's say 200. There is one available FBA offer, one buy box. Let's just call it like 4 or 5 sellers, right? So 200 divided by 5 is around 40 sales. The case pack is 6. So let's go 36 units as a test buy. So after all expenses, we're making around $40 in profit. Nothing crazy. Now, what I want you guys to understand is that we are literally starting from the bottom to the top, right? So these are like the least profitable products, and we're just getting every single item that we can. And the reason why that we want to do this is because these items are going to have a higher ROI. They're going to allow us to invest less money to be able to get more out, as long as you have your correct preferences set up in the software, which are going to be like your prep costs, your storage fees, your shipping costs. That way you can get down to an estimated true net profit when you're sourcing to make sure that you're actually seeing a real estimated profit for your business. Now, another product here, like 436, and it's $1 profit today. So let's open up this item. Our costs, and we can see like this product isn't selling at all. We're just going to move on. That can happen from time to time. Kiss my face here. 303 in profit historically, $1.14 today. We're going to open that up. We could see Keep a Graph is pretty healthy. It is a little bit higher of a ranked product, but the price is pretty consistent. Sell price is pretty good at this $16 to $20 range here. And our cost on the item is $7.40. So there's definitely going to be some margin there, just based on the math. Typically, cost of goods for Amazon can be anywhere between 40 to like 45%. So we already know that this item is going to have some opportunity here. So at this $16.62, we're looking at a net profit at 15% at the lowest price on the product that we've seen in the past year. And at the price of $18, we're seeing a net margin of 21%. It goes all the way up to $20. And at 20, we're seeing almost a 30% margin, right? So worst case scenario, we make 15% margin. Best case scenario is that we make 30% margin and we see a 73% ROI, right? So if we just flip this product 2 times, we already more than doubled our money. So even though it's a slower moving item, the rank is slow, like it's not selling as fast, that is okay, right? There's still opportunity in these products. And I want you guys to understand something too, is that we look at the data of this item. We can see that the sellers that are offering this product are experienced sellers. They all have high reviews percentages. They have a good amount of reviews as well, which for some people can be a little bit of a concern because they have a high review point. But like this seller has 86 reviews. He has 14% in the buy box, and he's priced at $16.95. For you as a small seller, you can come in, you can price that at $16.95 and get a 40% ROI on your money after all expenses. That is a product that I would be worth considering looking into, right? Like the products are out here. It's about how you're navigating and how you're sourcing through. And this is another item that we're gonna be able to add to our purchase order here. And I want to mention too here that we can see that this seller, Navistro, they've popped up on 2 listings now so far, at least, that we've sourced. That is an indication that we might want to take this seller and put it into the storefront stalker. So I don't want to get off track here, but I kind of want to show you guys after we add this product into the purchase order, exactly what this thought process really should be. So here we go. Ask price. We'll put $3. Just keep it even here. And then hit submit. Okay. So this seller Navistro here, we've seen them on 2 listings. So if you want to use the storefront stalker, once you find a seller that's consistently popping up on the products that you have been sourcing through the UPC scanner, all you got to do is take their storefront, go into the storefront stalker, hit this plus button, and just paste their storefront URL. Now the system's going to pull in all the products that they're selling and immediately tell you what items that they're selling that are also profitable for you. So that way we can essentially start sourcing through this seller's storefront, and we're going to filter down quickly by this seller. So Navistro. And here's all of those items that we just pulled in that they're selling that we also have access to, that our system made matches for. So now we can also start sourcing through this method if we wanted to. We're going to continue to source through the UPC scanner. I don't want to get off track here, but I wanted to show you guys that process of using the next sourcing method that we have is the product research storefront stalker, which will automatically match suppliers that you have access to, that carry the products that another seller, competitive seller that you're seeing pop up redundantly on listings, also have access to, right? That way you can immediately, rather than you going line by line by line through this seller's storefront, simply the software is going to tell you, hey, this product that they're selling, you can also buy. And by the way, it's also profitable. And then boom, you can find those opportunities. So we're going to go back into the UPC scanner here. We added the product Kiss My Face, but I just wanted to kind of show everyone that process. Where were we? Kiss My Face. Next product, $2 profit, $1.16 today. Once again, another keep a graph here that's pretty solid. It's pretty consistent in terms of price. It looks like it's priced at like 13 bucks is what we can see. 14.11, 14.99, 14.99, 13, 14 bucks. Our cost is 5.11. And let's see here at 12.78, we can see it's super, super low in profit. The price point that we pulled in here was 13.12. So that's how we're getting to that profit of $1.16. $1.16. So it's matching. 13.66. Looking at a 12% margin. It does sell at this 14.55 price point, which is 16%. So like this item has opportunity. A lot of sellers are going to skip this type of product because all they're looking at today is, I want to sell the product today, right now, right now, right now. And that's why a lot of sellers are stuck, is because we got to realize is that you want to save for the future. I mean, think about it this way, right? It's like the same thing as like financial literacy. If you get $1,000 a paycheck today, right? You make $1,000 today. If you go and you spend it all, you're back at zero. You want to go and you want to save, you want to invest. It's the same thing, the same thought process on Amazon is that not every single product that you see today, you're going to want to sell today, but that doesn't mean in the future that you wouldn't want to sell that product on Amazon. That price is going to change, right? It's going to increase or decrease. But if it increases, you have the opportunity to sell that item if you're prepared and you're ready. This is where a lot of sellers mess up in their business. They're not preparing for the future, the long term of their business. They're only focused on right now, today's results. So this is an item that, once again, it's a good product. The reason why this price gone down is because the offer count's going up. But once this offer count starts going down, then all of a sudden this price is going to bounce right back down to $14.55, which is going to be a 17% margin, 48% ROI after all expenses, right? After all expenses. And that's why we set this profit filter so low. It's not to just only get discounts, but to find these opportunities where other people are simply missing, because they might not be that great today, but they're going to become good in the future. And you want to be ready in the future. And as you're sourcing these items line by line by line, you're going to now start getting into higher profit per sales, and things are just going to get better and better and better. But we want to build out the leads list as best as we can. We want to try to throw as many products at the wall as we can and see if they stick, because that is ultimately how you grow a profitable business on Amazon. The only way that you know if an item is good is by test buying it and actually selling it, not by just like theoretical data that you're looking at. You gotta try to sell the product. So we're going to add this in to our PO here. We would test buy like 24 units, right? And this is all test buy inventory. This isn't all like, the quantities in which we'd actually sell. And so far, we've spent 35 minutes and we have added in $168 in profit, 9% margin, 25% ROI after all expenses in our business. Now, I know people are probably saying that's a low margin. Like that's not that great. Like I said, guys, these are all items that historically today they're lower profit, but in the future they're going to be higher profit. And they also have really solid ROIs, like 37% net ROI, 30% net ROI. We're also going to be asking for discounts on these products to increase this profit margin. This most likely is also going to be like the first PO that you ever place with a supplier. So you're not going to get the best pricing in the world. You need to break through. And then as you're finding more and more and more products, this margin is just going to continue to go up and up and up. So we'll continue to run through the motion here and continue to find more products. Next item here, like historically, it's not that profitable. We're just going to move on. This one, $1.29. I'm interested in that. Or maybe that's a little bit too low, but we'll still take a look. Just kind of get an idea. All right, so we could see that the price is at $8.29. It did drop down super, super low at $5.70, but it looks like it's consistently at this like $7.50, $7.10, $8.75, $9. There really isn't that much of like a consistent price point. If I go even further back, we can see $7, $7, $7, $7, $6.50. Right, that's like super, super low. So we're just gonna move on to the next item. It's not high enough sell price. 224 is our cost. $2.16 $2.16 profit. $1.19 on a 224 in cost. It's not that bad. We can see that this item is milk chocolate candy. It looks like this product usually sells at like $5. And it's getting back down to $5, so we're going to move on from that item. Not that interested. Okay, $1.18, $1.01, $1.92, $1.19. So $1.92 historically, $1.32 today. We're going to take a look at this one. $4.60. Okay, this item looks like it was historically selling with Amazon. We're going to remove that. Where were we? This item. Okay. Let's go. I'm going to highlight it moving forward. That way we can all understand and see. So $1.93 is what the historical profit is of the product. It's $1.39 today. Cost is $4.90. Looks like there's no offers on the listing. And that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing, right? We can see that the product does sell. It's just that no one is offering the product. Now, the highest price point on the item was $13.73. It looks like the competitive price is really like a $11.25. This is actually a lot of opportunity for a lot of people selling on Amazon to find items like this that most people underestimate. Like this is a product that you could be selling. You can jump on this listing and start making, money from. Granted, like margin's good, ROI is good. You gotta get the rank back. I mean, the rank is still there. And this is a variation listing, so it's not like the traffic is going away from the product because people are still finding the item. They're just forced to buy different flavors or, and just try different jerkies. So if you did come back in stock on this type of product, the traffic is already going to this listing. Like this is an opportunity that a lot of sellers are going to miss out on. or they don't understand that they could jump back on this product as the first seller, price it at even $13.68, and then make money from it. Now, the next part of this, though, is also kind of understanding like what are these other flavors selling for? Because that will give us a better understanding of like whether or not we can even be competitive. So we can see that the product's selling at like 11.09, $12. So if we just open up this item again, so I just go to the correct variation, we want to make sure that there isn't like a huge discrepancy, right? Like we don't want to be priced at 15 when everything else is 12. And even at $12, we're still seeing a healthy margin. So now we know that we could come back on this product and ultimately make money from this type of item. It's honestly a really unique and good opportunity. Now, when it was in stock, it looks like it really wasn't selling that much. Now, you'd have to also dive into the variation statistics too. I can't because it's going to require me to sign into my Amazon account. We can also see though that the offer count did go down. So it went down from 7 all the way to 1 organically, which is an indication that it was selling. It probably just isn't selling that fast. And I would put in a test buy of like 8 to maybe 16 units. Um, and that's what we're going to use. All right, next product here, like $449.44. Great opportunity there. So we're going to take a look into this. Like we can see that the product was selling historically at this price point, and the price just dropped down to 1303. And now ultimately that's why margins are going down. It's because the offer count is going up. But historically on the item, the price point was at this $18 range. So at 18 bucks, we open up the listing. Now, there's a concern that I already see for this item. The first thing is that these reviews are terrible, right? 3.4 stars on Amazon is not great. It's at $18. Our cost here is going to be $416, which is good. It's not bad. $13 here, and we're losing money. And the reviews are low. This is an item that like I'm just going to move on from, because most likely this is going to lead to returns or refunds and just like losing money, right? So on paper, the item looks good at a 16% margin, 71% ROI, but in reality, is it really that good? I don't know. Maybe that's a reason why people are dropping the price. Maybe a lot of people are looking at the face value of that margin without looking at these reviews and not understanding that, customers are going to see this, and this is going to hurt the sales velocity of the product. This is going to hurt the conversion rate in the product. And this is ultimately most likely going to lead to returns and refunds. So we're going to move on. Okay, another product here, $1.18, $1.49, 9% margin. We're going to move on from that. Okay, $3.22, $1.56. 731, open this up. All right, so like immediately we can see that this product is really not selling at all. Sales rank is super, super high. So I'm just going to move on from the product. Okay, 440 here. This is selling as a 3-pack, however, because we can see in the image, selling as a 3-pack. So that is actually unprofitable. Move on. 483, 170, cost is 452. Let's open this up. All right, so we can see that this product is consistently selling at this like $12 range, 13. It does go up to 23, which is awesome, but we want to make sure that the lowest consistent price, we're making money in the item. So right now it's selling at $12. We're going to put that in. All right, so we are profitable after all expenses on the item. So everything else is just additional profit. So at $13.77, we're looking at a profit of 23%. Up here, 23.15. we're looking at a profit of 44%, which is insane. So there's opportunity with this item. Granted, it doesn't look like it's selling that fast, right? But we do see indications that the product is in fact selling simply based on this offer count going down. And then when it went up a little bit, it went back down again. So those are good signs to see. And then I also know, like, 40,000 in babies, definitely not the best. And ultimately, like, this is another opportunity, guys, because this product's in the wrong category. This is not a baby product. At least to my knowledge, this is not a baby product. This is a grocery product. So this is in the wrong category. So no wonder the rank is high. No wonder it's not selling as fast as you anticipated. It's not the right category. So this is something that you can go and submit to Amazon. Maybe you can even go to the brand. Like, this is how you provide value to a brand, right? Is by looking at these things and saying, you're missing out on tons of sales by simply just having the wrong thing set up in your system. We're gonna move on from that product, though, to be honest. Because it's not baby. 40,000 in baby is not a good rank at all. And we can see with the offer counts also, like, not changing. So I'm just a little bit concerned about this. I'm concerned about this because this is not the right category for this item, and it's going to lead to issues. Now, we can also see here, though, that it mentions grocery, produce, dried fruits and vegetables, dried fruits, dried prunes. And it's also selling as a 2 count. Pack of 2. Okay, so this item's not profitable. Our cost is $7.84. That's why you got to look at these additional things here and just make sure. So our cost at $12.17 is we're losing money. So we're going to move on from this product. Next item, $1.54, $1.73. All right, we can see that right now there isn't any FBA offers on the product. And for me, that's a little bit concerning because FBA offers indicates that it's a good product to sell on for us as a wholesale business. Granted, if you want to sell FBM, there's value and merit in that as well. It really comes down to personal preference. But for me as an Amazon FBA wholesale seller, when I see that other FBA sellers aren't offering the product, I'm immediately concerned because that's just, we're not the only people looking at this item, more or less. And to be a little bit naive and say, all right, like, why aren't other people selling this product, is like, there's competition in the business, right? And ultimately, if other people aren't selling the product, it's a red flag. Moral of the story. And I've never seen good results from selling products like that. Usually they're problem dogs is what I like to call them. $1.78 historically, $1.76 today. So it looks pretty consistently profitable potentially. We could see that this is dominated by the brands, so we can't sell this product. Next item. Susie's, $1.98, $1.76. Good to see. All right, so it looks like this item is kind of getting back at this price point of this $13 range. It did drop down to 12. Was down to 9 back in the day. Oof. Okay. This Keep It graph is all over the place. So let's go with the past, like, 6 months, right? So at $12.50, we're looking at this item, $4.72. All right. $12.02. $1.87, 16% net at this $8.91. Okay, we're breaking even. Actually, losing money is really what I should be saying. $1.50. Yeah, so like it's just one of these items is just like I'm not the biggest fan of it. Um, it's not that profitable. Doesn't really sell that well. There's opportunity for us to lose money based on historical data on the product. Um, we're forced to sell this product at $13 to make money because at this like September to December, selling at $12, like it's just not selling fast enough. Granted, the ROI and the margin is good, but I just think that there are better items out there to sell. Maybe we'll add it to our purchase order and then we'll just remove it if we want to when it comes time to actually submit the PO. Like I'll put 12 units in, and then that's it, right? Like it takes 2 seconds to put it into the PO. We might as well just add it. We took the time to look at it. When it comes time to reviewing the purchase order, if we don't want to buy it, then we're just not going to buy it. So like $1.30, $1.80 is exactly what I want to see. Let's take a look here at this type of product. So it looks like the price is very, very consistent on the item, which is great to see. We have the rank is increasing pretty dramatically though. It went from 96,000 up to 300,000. 2239. So we're seeing a net 10%. There's one FBA offer on the listing. It's a little bit concerning to me. So we're going to move on. All right, this could be a good item here. $312, $1.82. Take a look at this. And we can see like we're starting to gradually increase this minimum profit, which is going to be good. Because we're going to start getting into like better and better products rather than some of these like items that are like okay, right? Like they're not the best, but we're sourcing, we're getting those reps in, we're understanding the business more, we're understanding the process of sourcing these items, and organically we're going to continue to find better and better products. So like this is a good item here. It's not a bad product. It looks like the price is pretty consistent at 1860. Price does go up to 2059, $19. So let's open this up here. Now this is also a hazmat product, so that will cost you more to ship an inventory. It's at 1860. So in reality, this item is not as good as we originally thought. Granted, it is 0.42 pounds, but it really isn't selling that well. It's hazmat. It could be another FBM type of product for you. But this is an item that most likely we're going to want to pass on and just move on to the next item here. Kiss My Face, 75 cents, $1.86. We're going to move on. 238, 191. Okay, let's take a look here. Looks like there's no other FBA sellers. Excuse me. The brand's on the listing. Move on. Next item. Unreal Dark Chocolate, 479. Let's open this one up. Once again, no FBA offers. Move on. Next item. Desert Essence, 722. Is there a cost? Looks like there hasn't been FBA offers in a while. We'll move on to the next item. All right. All right, let's look at this Health Plus product, 1641. All right, so we can see that like there's some opportunity with this item. Offer count's pretty healthy. Looks like it's selling pretty well. The brand is on the listing, however, but there are other FBA sellers or other sellers on this listing. So it depends on kind of what your risk tolerance is. Now, that being said, it looks like they're the only FBA offer. The other offers are FBM. But let's see here. Go into the buy box statistics. And yeah, 87%. It's way too much. Move on. Next item. $1.41, 207, or 205, I should say. Here we go. So this is gonna be a lot better here. So it's selling at $24.87, $23, $24.99. And our cost was $14.90. So there we go. Right? So we could see like this is another item where this has opportunity. We just need a better price. And this is net after all expenses. So our actual cost of goods are $13.91 on the item. So if we get, 5%, we're looking at a 15% gross margin. So we're going to try to get to $13.21 on the item is what our goal is going to be. And the buy quantity on this item is there's 2 FBA offers plus buy box, 130 sales, call it 24 to 36 units as a test buy. So we're going to do 36 units here. One item, $75 in profit after all expenses. Not the best ROI in the world, but for this one item, it's still worth looking into. And I mean, if we do get that discount at $13.21, we're looking at a profit now of 11% after all expenses. So the opportunity is there. I believe her cost was like $13.81 or something like that. Take a look here in a second. Go back to it just to make sure. $13.91. All right. So far we have added almost $300 in profit, $1.30 after all expenses. That is including $1 of prep and shipping cost on every single item, with a net margin of 9%, net ROI of 22% on $1,200 in cost of goods. Is this that great? No, right? We could do substantially better. But like I said, these are all products that we're going to get discounts on. So I also want to just quickly show you guys too, if we were to get these better prices, what would our actual margin be? So this one is, and let's actually break this down. We're actually going to submit this into as a PO here. Now from here, for anyone that would have wanted to submit this and send this to a supplier, you could just simply download this file here. And this will now create that Excel file for you that you can send directly to your supplier from the software. So rather than you having to use any Google Sheets in this process, literally everything's done. I mean, we spent an hour doing it. Granted, I think that we could build a lot better purchase order, but we started with the lowest profit items possible, right? Like that's how we started, and we're going to work our way up, and it's only going to get better and better and better. We just wanted to start with the lowest, get some discounts, find as many products as we can, and just build it out. So here we go. This is the PO that we created. We have our current unit costs and our ask costs. So it has what our actual costs are. So now if we change those costs, like theoretically saying, if we were to get all of these discounts, if we put $3, $4.37, $2.90, $13.21. So we're gonna be looking at a net margin of around 10%. So we would increase it around 1.5 points, which is a good amount. I mean, we went from, I believe it was almost $300 in net profit to $330. Right? So we increased it by a little bit. It might not seem like a lot, but it's better than not, right? And ultimately, we want to repeat this process over and over and over again and just continue to build out more and more and more and more purchase orders just like this. That way we can continue to grow and scale our business, because you got to start somewhere, right? You might see, 10% profit margins in the beginning of your business on Amazon, selling wholesale. That is okay. You will be able to get to the point where you're doing, greater than 10%. You just got to trust the process. You got to realize that your supplier is going to give you better pricing. They're going to give you better products. And like I said, guys, this is after all expenses. This is including shipping. This is including prep. This is including everything. So this is net as a forecast when you're selling this type of inventory. So, and for those that aren't using third-party profits, there's a link down below to start your free trial today. And for anyone that wants to get coached one-on-one by Alex and myself, we've been selling on Amazon collectively for over 10 years. We've done over $40 million through Amazon Wholesale. We're still actively involved in the business. We are experts in this industry. If you guys want personalized help, one-on-one coaching from us to help you start, grow, and scale your Amazon business, there's also a link down below to apply to see if it's the right fit. We'd love to be able to work with you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next one.